Welcome to The More You Know, The Better It Tastes. And I'm your host, Alan Williams. And my normal business partner, Susie Lafredo, is not in today, but I'll try to hold it down by myself. And it'll be easy today because I have a great guest. My guest is Jeffrey Spahn. And Jeffrey is a front of house master. He's done this for years, and we're going to be talking about hospitality today in the restaurant industry. Jeffrey, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, Alan. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I've known Jeffrey for a few years. I think when I met you, you were the manager at the Minger Hotel.
That is correct.
For the dining, for the, what do they call it, the Colonial Room or something like that?
You are correct.
Yeah, and then you've moved to a couple of different places. And
yes.
Yeah, and I've always been impressed by Jeffrey with his ability to make people feel comfortable and his I think it's body language, and we're going to get into that. But
yes.
You just already know how to treat people whenever you meet them. So we're going to get into that. So, Jeffrey, I guess let's start. I want to know about you. Where are you from?
Born and raised, Dubuque, Iowa.
Dubuque, Iowa. Big time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Parents had a supper club in a small town across the river in East Dubuque, Illinois.
Okay.
The Mississippi River divided Dubuque from East Dubuque.
Isn't that kind of where it starts?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so.
Yep.
Does it actually start in Minneapolis or no? No, I guess it's right about there.
Yes. They call it the tri-state area of Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin, supper clubs, things like that. That's where all that began.
Okay. All right. And so you grew up with your parents running a supper club. So you've been in fine dining for a long time.
Yes.
All right. Great. And was it just something you just were forced to do, or did you enjoy working with your parents there?
I enjoyed working with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
My mother especially. She ran the kitchen. Dad bartended, ran kind of the front of the house.
Okay.
You think it would be the opposite.
Yeah.
But no, it was just her office, her dedication, being authentic, hiring local college students to work in the kitchen.
Okay.
I met a lot of people that were much more older than me, but I saw how grateful they were and gracious to my mother, and how gracious my mother was to them, that being the younger version in the kitchen a lot of the times, I looked up to them, and I wanted to be, like that.
Yeah. Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have an older sister, younger sister.
Okay. And did they work in the restaurant as well?
Older sister, yes. She worked at our restaurant next to Mom and Dad's.
Oh.
Actually, she worked for the competitor.
That's interesting. How'd that go down?
I think how do I say it? I have 3 daughters. I have one that's super amazing. I have my bull in the china shop, and I have my educated one.
Uh-huh.
So I grew up with an older sister, younger sister. I think Heidi was just a little bit more outgoing. She didn't want to do the family thing.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people, I'm sure it's hard to work for family.
It can be.
Well, how did you end up in San Antonio?
Moved here November of 99.
Okay.
At the time, I was married. KCI, which was a well-known place, actually right across the highway from here.
Yeah, right.
I came down by way of Marriott.
Oh, okay.
Marriott River Center.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. What were you doing there?
Actually, I was in food and beverage, like banquets, audiovisual. Audiovisual was I kind of made the change, and that's what took place on that. So
I think I would like that. Did you learn a lot?
I learned a whole lot because you had to take these classes that the Marriott Corporation provided for you, and you had to maintain those credits, maintain that and so you keep that pay raise or that pay amount that you were getting per hour.
Yeah.
But during slow times, you could move into food and beverage. And what I mean by that is you could work at any of the outlets at a Marriott property, whether it's in banquets, restaurant, as long as it was, I think, what do you call it? You weren't going into a supervisory position.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So if you were running audiovisual at one place, you could serve at another place maybe,
Yeah.
or help in the dishes or whatever it was.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Well, ever since I've known you, you've been really good at hospitality, but I was just thinking about that on the way in. How do you define hospitality? What does that mean?
I do get asked that a lot. There's probably many definitions of it, but in my perspective, how I see hospitality, I think it's within the word itself.
Mm-hmm.
How are you as an individual? How do you define that word? It's like, how do you want to be treated?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
It's hospitality is a very positive word. There's nothing negative about it.
Yeah. I think it comes from the word hospital.
I've never looked it up, but yeah, because most people put that in that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So when you went to the hospital, you expected
To be cared for.
Mm-hmm. And so when I see that word, again, a lot of people really need to understand it, especially in the type of industry I'm in, hotel. That type of, hospitality really identifies the guest and how the guest should be treated, not wants to be treated. There's different expectations when a guest walks through that door. I have no clue what's going on in your world when you walk through that door. I better greet you with the best of expectations.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know if it's something you study or if it just comes to you. You can tell some things by body language, right? When you see somebody walk in, they're dragging, like, okay, they're just got off work and they're having a hard day, or they're just having a hard day. You can tell some things by looking at them, or maybe they're talking fast and they're excited. Maybe it's a celebration.
Body language is big.
Mm-hmm.
There's always, when you see a guest walking through, if I see you, and I've done this with you, you saw me at a few locations. I saw you walk in, and there was a amount of surprise, a big smile, a welcoming greeting, and we were probably 10, 12 feet away from each other, but we took notice of that.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that is taught in this industry. Be prepared, look ahead, always look forward, and identify the guest immediately. You never know what's going on in their world. Could be a bad traveling experience. Could be something that happened on the way into the establishment that, like you said, could be excited. Oh, I'm here early, got an anniversary, going to propose, had a bad day, my flight was delayed 3 times.
Yeah.
I'm late for my check-in, I'm late for my business meeting, things of that nature.
If they're in a hurry, you're going to treat them one way, and if they're not in a hurry, but they're for an evening, you treat them a different way. I guess you got to. If you can tell they're in a hurry, you're going to get them that menu real quick and try to get their order in and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So, thinking you've been as a manager and as a server, and currently we should mention you're at Asencia, which is how you say that, Asencia?
That is correct.
Yeah, it's the brand new restaurant at the St. Anthony Hotel. It's run by Chef Leo Davila, formerly of Sticks and Stone. Great guy who's been friends with Leo for a long time. And you're currently one of the servers there. But you're kind of in a retired state. You work a couple of days a week, right?
Yeah, it's something that intrigued me about when this took place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge fan of the St. Anthony. I'm a huge fan of Chef Leo. His food, his concept was something brand new to me. And I really wanted to pay attention to it. I wanted to take the time to understand it. I've always been in certain aspects of fine dining where the menu, steakhouse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
People know what to expect.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times when you're in hotels, the menu is very traditional, where Chef Leo just...
nothing's traditional with the Chef Leo.
And he married it so well, though.
Yeah.
He did a beautiful thing, and it was something that I was like, I'm just going to go out on a limb here, apply, and see what takes place. And probably one of the best decisions, I ever did.
Yeah, I believe it. So Asencia, he has a fusion of Asian and Mexican food, and it's just really well done. And I can say we ate there the other day, one of the best meals I've ever had.
Well, thank you.
Beverly and I were still talking. We were still talking about it last night. How good everything. The whole evening was just wonderful. So I'm going to jump right into something that I've worked on in my mind for a long time. When I'm eating a meal, I typically eat faster than Beverly does. So I'm done. She's not. Somebody tries to take my plate away. I'm like, no. I think it's rude to have my plate gone when she's still eating. I want to leave it there. But I bet you there's a lot of people that look at it and say, I'm done. I want this out of here. How do you as a server know what to do?
One thing that I've always learned in this industry, and a lot of these chefs are very amazing. First of all, they're giving you a table, a section as they call it.
Mm-hmm.
They're giving you their menu at no cost to you. They're giving you a wine menu. Everything that comes in order when being a server. But mind you, it's not costing me a dime. This is where the education part comes in. But he's also teaching you, educate yourself with the guest.
Mm-hmm.
Every guest is different. Are they coming in to celebrate? Find out what's going on in their evening. Make sure you're on the guest time, that the guest is not on your time. Does that make sense?
I think so. Mm-hmm.
So as I'm reading you, I would good majority of my response would be, is it okay to remove? If you say no, that's okay. I'm not going to come back and ever ask you that question again until you are ready. Mm-hmm. But most guests will make a motion or a movement.
Kind of like push the plate towards
exactly,
you or something,
exactly.
or hand it to you.
Or if they're putting the silverware onto the plate.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to keep it side by side. But yes, I've seen it happen where I'm a fast eater too. They call me the front loader. I absorb a lot. But again, I'm one that likes to keep my plate too because I may go back.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So
mm-hmm.
again.
Or who your guest may say, you want this? Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It's something that, and a lot of places not at the fine dining level, they don't understand. Well, they keep over and over again. Can I take your plate now? No, I'm not leaving my plate until she's done. No. So, and I do try to slow down. So that's also, I think, rude if to, eating so fast that the other person is feeling awkward. I think that's not good either.
There are a lot of restaurants have points of service.
Mm-hmm.
and that is one thing that is actually discussed in points of service.
Explain that.
When you are going to take plates away, fine dining, things of that nature, you try to remove plates based after the course. Are you having appetizers? Are you going into salads? Are you going into entrees? Do you want a clean plate after every course? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Some people may do all shares. Again, it goes back to listening to the guests.
Is that what the guest wants, a clean plate, or is that what the restaurant expects? You're going to give them a clean plate every time?
On course, the restaurant expects a clean plate.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing an all share, again, it goes back to reading the guest.
Yeah.
You can actually, I would ask you, can I provide you with another clean plate? Let's say if you're going from a raw consumption type item, say a tartare or a crudo,
mm-hmm.
and then you're going into a salad of something of that nature, you may want a clean plate. Some people don't like having
the old food mixed with the new food. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's a mannerism of how you're going to present it to the guest.
Yeah. When we were with you the other day, we were with another couple, Ken and Judy Rodriguez, and we all shared. So we just had plates out in the middle, and we would just dig, so that it would be impossible to know when to give you a clean plate at that point because we're just continuing to eat. What is the hardest part of your job?
I think in this industry, it's taught me a lot. I think in the beginning, everything was hard. Learning, education, knowing the menu, knowing the wines, knowing the cocktails, things like that. Everything happens over time. It's kind of like a salesman has a 30, 60, 90-day, forecast.
Mm-hmm.
something I've implemented in my serving. I mean, there's a lot of things hard about it because every day is never the same. My guests are never the same, especially when you're in a hotel. Say, you know, I'm a Marriott employee. I've been a Hyatt employee as well. You're meeting a different in downtown San Antonio. You think about it, it's tourism. 70% of your guests are going to be not the same guests.
Interesting. I had not thought about that. It's totally different in a hotel, isn't it?
Yes, the guests are different every day. And so that makes it unique. So you're in a mental stage differently every day. And granted, that is hard too. What are you coming into?
Yeah. Have there been times? Can you think of an instance where you just feel like you made a difference in a guest's evening?
A lot of that, yes. And a lot of that comes with my coworkers, too. I have a lot of great coworkers out there. I have a lot of colleagues that are in different restaurants in different cities that are outstanding and very creative, very knowledgeable. And I love staying in touch with these people. But, yes, I've made a difference in many occasions. One thing I've always was taught, don't ever question a person's appearance. Don't ever question a person's financial status.
Yeah.
Because you never know what you're going to get.
You never know, especially these days. Yeah. Some people could be in shorts and T-shirt and multi-billionaires.
Exactly. And to be rewarding, pay attention to the guest, know the guest, find out if they're going to the theater. Maybe they're going to a show. Maybe, again, they just want date night. Believe it or not, just recently I had a couple come in and they love playing backgammon. And
at the table.
They brought it in. And
interesting.
But the lady explained to me, she goes, it is date night, but date night is on me tonight. And it was interesting to intertwine because they ended up saying, we remember you. And
wow.
I was like, okay. And the gentleman put his hand out, said his name, and I was like, oh my gosh. And they said they remembered me from a few years ago. And no, they just kind of hung out. They ordered their wine, they ordered their appetizers, but it was their time to communicate.
Yeah.
It was their time off.
Well, that's really cool, but that also brings up another point. At Asencia, it's a large restaurant, and there's a lot of tables, so that probably works. But in another table where you're trying to turn it, and they're just wanting to sit there and play backgammon, how do you handle that?
I think a lot of times when somebody comes in, sections are designed for certain reasons. We will put individuals in certain areas where we know it's a little bit more comfortable seating. It's based on, again, you think about the size of the table. Is it a two-top? Is it a party of four? Party of six? Can we move this section? Can we move this table? That's available. But then there are always quiet spots. And those spots usually happen between the bar and the beginning of the restaurant, where the restaurant begins.
Okay.
Does that make sense? A lot of places will have that little section.
Yeah.
And
so it's almost like two different businesses in one.
Exactly.
Yeah, and there might be different atmospheres.
Exactly.
The bar area may be a party, and the rest of it may be sophisticated. And
I get people that will come in by themselves, bring their laptop, and we have a little spot area for there because they need an outlet or they need something, and they want to be more visible to the entrance. Some people don't want to be around the entrance, so we have another section for that as well. And most restaurants have that, especially in hotels. They're thinking about the guests. They're thinking about their needs. So, again, there's always going to be something, especially when you have a family that has children. And, they're rambunctious and ready to go, and you got to feed them first. And so, again, we always try to maintain, an area of where we're going to kind of place the guests. But we do give the guests the opportunity, the option, hey, we want to maybe sit over there because the couple brought the backgammon game. They didn't want to interrupt anybody else's dining experience.
Yeah. So are you saying the answer is that if you were crowded and you needed to turn that table, you could ask them, can we move you over to here and move you closer to the bar or something like that?
I've never done that.
You've never done that. They're there for the night.
Yes.
They bought the table as far as you're concerned.
I think a lot of times the guests that brought out the backgammon, I don't think would have done it in the main dining room.
Mm-hmm.
They did ask for a other part of the restaurant, which we do have.
Mm-hmm.
And we appreciated them for that. But,
yeah.
you know.
That's interesting. And I guess at a hotel, people may be there for not wholesome reasons. They might be with somebody, and so they also want to be hidden in the back somewhere.
Right.
Probably not at the St. Anthony. Well, maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, I think every hotel, every guest, are they there for just the evening, or are they there for, I've had people stay 13, 14 days.
Yeah.
You want to keep them under your roof. You want them to spend money in your establishment.
Sure.
And they get comfortable that way.
Uh-huh.
It's almost as if they didn't want to leave their home.
What kind of this is not a hospitality question, it's an Asencia question. What kind of feedback are you getting so far from guests? They probably aren't expecting with the kind of food they're getting there. What's the reaction people are to the food?
Very positive.
Yeah.
It's probably been very more rewarding. The guests walk in and they see it. The visualization is actually matching the description on the menu, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times people, again, a lot of things don't match. They order something, you drop something off, you ordered this, or they get the shock value, like, I didn't order that. Well, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
But no.
And that goes back to you describing it.
Yeah. And you notice I gave you the menu tour. You
went through the whole menu, and you knew it so well. That was actually very impressive that you knew it so well.
And, the beauty of that is you want to learn it. Every chef wants you to be that educated, to be that knowledgeable. There's a reason behind it. To make sure the guest is really appreciating the value of what they're getting, knowing what they're wanting, getting them to try something they normally wouldn't order.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And the end of the day is to give them an experience.
Yeah.
That's what they're there for.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what it is. You know this better than anybody. The restaurant industry has changed tremendously since COVID, and a lot of people are struggling. Some restaurants are just killing it; they're just booming, and other restaurants are really suffering. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of it is people are now wanting not just food; they want an experience. They want to have. They're out for the evening. They could stay at home and cook, but they're out because they want an experience. And as a server, that's your job, is to give them that experience. The chef, he can give them good food, but he's not interacting with them as much as you are. It's your job.
Articulate, appearance, knowledge, there's so much that is a factor in all that.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing is, of course, and that goes back to the guest, them wanting the experience. The server needs to be that attentive. Be prepared. Treat it as if it was your own business.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that goes back to me saying the chef is providing me with, say, a 3-4 table section. He's providing me with his menu, everything. It's not costing me a dime. But he's like, I can make you successful if you treat it like a business.
Mm-hmm.
You got to put that aspect into it. I want to be successful. I want to walk out being successful financially.
Mm-hmm.
99% of it, there's no other answer than when a server says, what are you here for? I'm here for the financial reasons.
Sure. Of course.
That's
every job is like
line.
that, yeah.
But with that comes the dedication of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Again, being on time, being alert, just listening to the guests, pay attention, as if you are dining with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's. I think you and I have even said it to each other a few times. Have a seat, Jeffrey.
Yes.
and again, you want to be that close to the guests.
Mm-hmm.
You're paying attention. You understand their needs, their expectations. their requests, just be on board with them. Don't change their mind. Let them continue. Offer suggestions. There's a difference between upselling and overselling. I'd rather increase something for you, increase the experience, but I'm not going to oversell it.
Okay, because then they're disappointed.
Exactly. And again, I don't know your financial. And again, don't ever question a person's financial situation.
Mm-hmm.
And really their appearance. You don't know what they want, but if you can provide something that enhances that guest experience, that's going to take place, and it will happen.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, well, why don't we stop right there and take a break, and we'll be right back with Jeffrey Spahn and learning all about hospitality. We'll be back in a minute.
Have you heard these before?
It's too expensive.
There's no money up front. It's only $30 a month per device.
My staff won't know how to use it.
It's easy. It takes one shift and everybody's got it.
My staff won't learn it fast.
It's so easy. By the end of the first shift, they'll be experts.
It's just a POS.
Oh, it's not just a POS. It's table-side ordering. It's QR ordering. It's online ordering. We even give you a free website. If you don't have a website, we'll give you one. And that's why Alamo Biscuit Company uses SkyTap, powered by San Antonio POS. And that's why Alamo Biscuit Company uses SkyTap, powered by San Antonio POS.
Oh, it's perfect.
And we are back. This is The More You Know, The Better It Tastes. And today we have my friend, Jeffrey Spahn. And Jeffrey is a master of hospitality. He's a server at Asencia, which is at the St. Anthony Hotel. I've seen him at the Minger. I've seen him at Landrace. I've seen him at different places. And always provides great experiences for people. And I want to learn, what does that mean? How do you teach that? And I think maybe that's where we go next. How do you teach that to somebody? I would think, to begin with, you have to like people. Do you like people?
I do. In my personal life, I'm quite the loner. Love to lay low, distance myself from my job.
Gotcha.
I try not to bring my personal life into my work. That allows me to be more attentive when I'm meeting a new guest or if I'm working with my coworker. I'm ready for the day. But certain things can be taught. Certain things can't be. It's kind of like a difference between a misstep and a mistake. A misstep is something that just is going to take place. A mistake is something that you're knowingly doing. Okay?
Okay.
So when
you could have avoided.
Exactly. Teaching something or learning something, I mean, I'm going to get it from, say, my trainer, my chef, or, who's ever utilizing for me to begin this job as a server. It's what I take in, how I'm going to absorb it, how I'm going to utilize it. And then, Jeffrey, can you teach this person your same attributes? That's tough to do.
Yeah.
It really is. As much as you want them to adhere to it, whether it's company policy or your personal policy.
Preference, yeah.
It's hard. And again, it's just, I think the individual, the person really has to want it, to want to do this.
What personality works best?
Honesty.
Okay.
I mean, again, I think it goes back to you got a business. It's up to you. Do you want to make money? And the individual walking in, it's their, again, we're going back to the experience. It's their financial evening. Everything plays a factor into all of this. How are you going to, what can you do? What are you going to add to it?
Yeah. Okay. So which part of it can be taught, and what do you teach?
That's interesting. I probably never been asked this one. Grooming, teaching, all go hand in hand.
Grooming.
Okay.
Okay.
I can provide. It doesn't happen overnight. It's years, and it's doesn't happen within one restaurant. It happens in multiple. Maybe you're good at one place, but not good at another, so you go to another, even though the concept is the same.
Yeah.
Okay. I've had friends in the chain restaurants. They've gone to different chains. They were successful in one, but weren't at the other. And what happened? A lot of factors played in. Management, just everything was a factor.
Yeah. I guess I can see that. I mean, I can't see you working at Dick's Last Resort because you're a kind person and you have to have that ability to be a little rude to somebody.
I'm probably my own worst critic. Okay.
I bet you are too.
I'm very difficult on myself
Yeah.
if I do the misstep. If I do make a mistake, I'm even more harder. It's like, why did you do this? Why did it happen again? And I gotta teach myself. But where do I go to teach myself? Where do I learn from that? And again, to be taught and to teach, I think a lot of it is self-identity too. It's like, what can I do to better myself? Who do I go to? Where am I going to find the answer?
Who's your mentor?
Right.
Okay.
And again, those are the things I have to think about. And it could be a journey. Because it's not going to happen overnight. But I try to be the best problem solver I can be within myself.
Is service and hospitality in San Antonio different than other places, do you think?
Night and day.
Wow. Why is that? I wasn't really expecting that answer.
One of my biggest, I tell people, and believe it or not, I've had the opportunity to live in Kansas City, Denver, Colorado, Burbank, California, Phoenix, and no disrespect to San Antonio, they just everybody wants to be out at 7:00.
Yeah.
Nobody.
We're not a late night town.
No, you're not a late night town in any way, shape, or form. And I don't know why. You think of the structure and granted, San Antonio is a beautiful town. It's a very exceptional town. We have, say, the Spurs. A lot of people call them, we're a blue-collar city. Okay?
Yeah.
The team is, most of the people that go to the Spurs are blue-collar workers.
Okay.
Okay. So, again, that has always been emboiled into this area. So when people go out to dinner, it's like they're structured. They're like robotic or, it's got to happen at 7:00 or it ain't going to happen. You ruined my night.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's just there's nothing, nobody wants to. And when they do dine late, we're not prepared for it. Most restaurants are closing, say at 9:00 on a Sunday, 10:00 during the week, 11:00 on a Friday and Saturday. We're other places in other cities. They'll take you till 2:00 in the morning.
And so do you think that's the blue-collar part that does that, or is it just a habit of San Antonio?
Tourism. I think it's just what we set the standard.
Okay.
Again, the lodging industry, the hospitality industry kind of sets the standard.
Yeah.
We are a convention town. Conventions happen during the day. They want to be done by 8:00.
Okay. As a server, that's probably good news for you, except for there's not a lot of time to turn tables
Exactly.
to make a couple
and that's the other frustrating part.
Yeah.
We want to turn a table on a Friday night at least 3 times. We want that hour and a half experience.
Yeah.
You get a lot of sitters because we're in a convention town. By the time they're done eating, haven't finished that glass of wine, dessert, they're still in conversation.
Yeah.
That's the tourism side. That's the vacationer side. That's the hotel. That's the mentality of this town.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Well, of all the years of experience, I'm sure you have some stories. So do you have any bad stories? What's a bad customer?
I think the goal, the thing in hospitality, don't ever look at a customer as bad, because the goal is to change that atmosphere immediately.
Very good. I like that.
You have to change that. What can I do to make it better?
Mm-hmm.
The guy could be coming from the airport. Again, everything just ruined. But as soon as he walks in a restaurant and he doesn't get that hello, he's done.
Mm-hmm.
You lost the guest.
Yeah.
What can you do to change it so you pay attention?
Mm-hmm.
Now, to say a bad guest, I did have an incident. It did not happen at the location that I'm currently at. This happened a while back. A gentleman came in with 3 other people, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He sees the host. The host seats him. Host puts the menu down. Everybody's fine. He's just sitting there, and it's at a table. It's in the middle of the restaurant. He's being seen. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting on the table right next to him, and it's a larger party. It's like 10 guests.
So it's not your table, but you're right next to it.
Well, yeah, I'm right next to it. And as I'm speaking to this large party, he grabs me. He goes, "We want to move over there. I need you to move us." I'm like, "Sir," I said, "I'm in the middle with these guests. Can you give me 10 seconds? I'll address the issue."
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's not my section. I know it's not my table. And so as I'm continuing, he grabs me again. He goes, "We want to move over there. Is it available?"
You don't know.
I was so blessed, though. This lady in the group winks at me, and she's like, "Do what you got to do." I was like so grateful.
Yeah.
So I turned around and I said, "Sir," I said, "I'm in the middle of speaking with this guest." I said, "Let me speak with the host. Let me find out what I can do." And he starts proceeding to walk over. The other table was closer to a window.
That's what he wanted, I guess.
That's what he wanted. But the thing is he wanted to put 2 tables together, because these tables were only designed for 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the larger, it was a party of 4. And he was getting ready to change the atmosphere, the dining experience for everybody.
Yeah.
And by the time I got to the host, he made that. So I walked over and I said, "Sir," I said, "I'm going to ask you to please follow me." I said, "I have a table for you." I said, "It's not going to be here, but it's in a better position." And I moved him to the front door next to the host stand, where the service bar was. It's the worst table in the restaurant. Honest to God truth, we moved him there. And he was furious, frustrated. And I told the host, as I'm moving him, make sure that table gets sat immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So he couldn't go back to the table.
Yeah, good point.
So I did that route. The individual that walked in that we sat turned out to be his boss.
Okay. Yes.
So throughout the evening, he's still frustrated over there. Now he's sitting at the front door. He hates it.
Yeah.
He's hearing everybody at the service well. He's right next to the host stand. Lo and behold, the boss was the owner of the hotel.
Whoa. Wow.
One of the investors of the hotel.
Yes.
So he comes to find out that this guest was being as rude as he was, and actually walked over. They had a conversation. The guy's attitude changed immediately. I got an apology from the owner of the hotel.
Very nice.
But, yeah, the gentleman walked in with this attitude. And to me, that's what I consider a bad customer.
Yeah, I can see that.
I've never had anybody say walk out on a tab. That's a bad customer.
Well, yeah.
Things like that.
You have never had that?
I have not.
Wow, that's unusual. It's amazing.
I've been Now, I've had a coworker, one of the things we try to avoid, and this is something that's been taking place, you get a large party of 15. You ever notice on your page there that we're looking for a place, but we want separate checks?
Mm-hmm.
You know how it is to run about 15 separate checks?
Yeah, I'm sure it's a pain, yeah.
But there's been occasions where we've run those separate checks and 13 out of the 15 paid. 2 found a way to squeaky clean out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that happens.
I'm sure it does.
But
yeah.
Again, bad customers are, the whole goal is to change that atmosphere, that immediate, thought process.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing that I think makes a good server is to be aware of everything. I hate whenever, let's say you delivered a bowl of soup, there's no spoon, and the server takes off, and then you try to get anybody's attention, and they're all, you can tell they're not going to look at you. They're looking somewhere else because it's not my table. I'm not going to do it. And I would think that's a good server. You probably have to be aware of not of your tables, but the whole restaurant, what's going on. Anybody need anything? And you probably have to be aware.
The goal that happens. I like the community or the camaraderie that takes place amongst servers. If you have a good crew, pay attention. Pay attention to your guests. Pay attention to you. And you have a neighbor, your section buddy, whatever terminology you want to use. There are sections, and usually they'll put 2 servers in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention to the surroundings. That guest is just as important, even though I'm not waiting on them.
Yeah.
You got to treat them equal. You cannot, my guest, I value. I'm going to value the guest in another area of the restaurant as well. I want them to enjoy it. Mm-hmm. I've had people throughout the restaurant, and there's been times where, thank you for taking care of me, even though I didn't wait on them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that's the response you want.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely, it is. Well, as we close, wanted to find out what you thought. Why does hospitality still matter today? What not only in fine dining, but even at the drive-through at a fast food place, is hospitality? Why is it important?
Expectation. Whether you're going through a drive-through, you're hungry, you're hangry, whatever the terminology you want to use, you have an expectation. You're paying for it. It costs you money. Honestly, God, truth, I'll tell you what happened the other day to me.
Mm-hmm.
We were ordering fried chicken.
Okay.
And from a company. And the thing is when I did it on the app, okay, you can order online and then have it was under Uber Eats, but another friend that I was with, I like what you ordered. We wanted the special that they had. So it said 2 times. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then we ordered our additionals. We only got 1. And so the receipt came. I'm looking at the receipt. It said 2 times $14.99, which was almost $30. I called the establishment. It's like, hey, there should have been 2 in here. They wanted me. They're like, no, you have to go through the driver. Well, the driver dropped it off. The bag was sealed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it had that sticker on it and everything.
Yeah, so driver doesn't know what's in there either.
Exactly. And so I try to explain that. Till this day, it hasn't been resolved.
Wow. Yeah.
And then that's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's like, did they really pay attention and read the ticket? It's as if when I'm ringing up a ticket to Chef, I got to make sure when I'm repeating your order to you, even you're right in front of me, when I ring it in, I got to make sure it's rung in correctly. I don't want to, hit an item that, I didn't order this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I hit the wrong key.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Absolutely.
So
Hospitality matters.
It does matter. I mean, again, it's the guest. It's the guest experience. It's everything you're paying for.
Yeah. Do you like it when people request you?
I do.
Okay.
It really means a lot to me because over the years, as long as I've been in San Antonio, I think it's a feel-good for me. It makes my day. It makes my evening. I love when people reach out to me. I love when people say, it's great to see you again. You know, things like that. I did something right. And it was important.
You made a difference.
And it was important to me.
Okay. Well, I asked that question because we're going to end, and I want everyone to go to Asencia at the St. Anthony. Make your reservations. You're going to go because it's a great restaurant, great food, great atmosphere. But when you make your reservations, request Jeffrey because then you're going to have a great experience as well. And other people there are great too. You're not the only server there that can do it, but you're special. So thank you for what you do.
That. Thank you kindly, and I appreciate you, Alan.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, I will come back and see you again. We're already looking forward to doing that. And we will be in before you know it.
All right, brother.
All right. Again. All right. So, everyone, we'll be back again next week with another of The More You Know, The Better It Tastes. I'm not sure who the guest will be, but it's going to be a good one. So be sure and support your local restaurants. We have some great restaurants here in San Antonio. Drop the chains. Go see one of our local restaurants. You'll be happy. All right. And tell your friends about this podcast. We sure appreciate y'all. Take care. Bye-bye.